Hello everybody, and the topic that we are going to deal today is the preamble of India. Now, what is preamble? Basically, if someone asks you that what is a preamble, so the first thing that should come into your mind is that preamble is just an I card. It's just an I card. Like if suppose if I want to know about you, all right. If I'm asking your name, your father's name, your mother's name, and I just want to know about your details. So what will be the shortcut for me? The shortcut for me will be to take your I card and to just read the details that have been written in that I card. Is that fine? Perfectly fine. So what does that I card do? That I card is actually giving me a sort of idea about your your name, your the credentials that you do possess. Okay, so those credentials are there in that particular I card. So preamble is the same thing. Preamble is actually giving me a sort of summary of the entire constitution. The constitution in itself is very big. Okay, so if suppose if someone wants to know the constitution in a nutshell, that what is the actually meaning and what's the actually essence of the constitution, the entire constitution. So if someone wants to know the crux of the constitution in a nutshell, so he should go and he should read preamble, because preamble is a sort of summary. Okay, and from which country we have taken the concept of preamble? So the answer is USA, United States of America is the constitution from where the constitution of United States of America is a source of Indian preamble. Okay, so now we are just going to discuss some of the keywords that are mentioned in the constitution. Preamble, not constitution. So in preamble there are certain keywords that you need to know. So one by one we'll just discuss every keyword. So the first keyword is sovereign. Okay, you will when you will read the preamble, so you'll come to know that there are certain keywords written like sovereign, republic, secular, okay, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. What are they? I'll just deal everything in detail. So the first keyword is your sovereign. Now what is sovereign? See, there are two terms, right? There are two terms. The first one is your supreme and the second key term is your sovereign. Now what is sovereign? First of all, you should learn that what is supreme. Supreme is a comparative term. If suppose if my height is 5 feet 7 inches and if I am comparing myself to a particular guy who is 6 feet tall, so that 6 feet tall guy is supreme compared to me. All right, but if I am discussing about the tallest man on this earth, and if suppose if that particular person name is XYZ, so that XYZ particular person is sovereign, because no one is above that particular person with respect to, or when you are considering the parameter of height. So in the context of height, no one is above that particular XYZ, because he is the tallest person in the world, in the entire world. So sovereign is what? Sovereign means absolute supremacy. It means that no one is above that particular entity. And if I am talking about supreme, so supreme means that when I am comparing two entities, if I am comparing two entities and this one is above this entity, so this is supreme. But if this particular entity is the most highest entity, then this particular entity will become sovereign. Okay, this is not this is no more a supreme entity, this is a sovereign entity. Okay, all right. So India is a sovereign nation, that's a very true fact, but there are certain things that are to be discussed here. That India is a member of Commonwealth. All right, and you must have heard that India has accepted many of the United Nations treaty, like climate change treaty, Paris climate deal, etc, etc. So India has signed those treaty. So signing those treaties, right, signing those treaties of United Nations, so signing those treaties dilute the sovereignty of India. Is that so? The answer is no. Why? I'll tell you. See, India has signed the treaty. Okay, I believe that India has signed the treaty of United Nations, but after signing the treaty, it's not that ki India has to follow it. Okay, India has got its own rules. According to those rules, according to those conditions, those situations, India is going to implement those signed treaties. It's not that someone is going to dictate that you have to implement this particular international treaty in this way. No, it's not the case. India has signed the treaty, so the first sign of sovereignty is there itself, that India has decided that yes, India has to sign the treaty. No one else told India to decide to sign the treaty. Okay, so India signed the treaty, and then after that, what happened, that India ratified. Ratifying means you signed the treaty at the international conference, and you brought that particular treaty to your parliament, and in your parliament you voted for that particular signed treaty, that internationally signed treaty. And after that, if the parliament accepts that internationally signed treaty, it comes to the status of ratification. Means that particular international treaty that was signed at an international platform, now it has been accepted by your parliament. So this is called that the parliament has ratified that particular international treaty. All right. So can you just observe one thing, that everything is going on just at the mercy of the Indian government. No one else, no external factor is influencing the decision making power of India. So this is an example of sovereignty, that India is not getting influenced by any of the external powers. All right. So this was about sovereignty. And if I'll talk about Commonwealth nations, that India is a member of Commonwealth nations, so does that membership dilute the status of sovereignty of India? The answer is again a big no. Why? Because Commonwealth nations membership can be taken away, or India can come out of that Commonwealth nation status whenever it wants. And this particular clause has been mentioned in Indian Independence Act of 1947. When India was getting independent, you will read in modern history that when India was getting independence, so in 1947 it was mentioned that whenever India wants, India can come out of the Commonwealth status. All right. Thank you.